Hi, welcome to Rita's Rescues. I'm Rita. This is my sidekick, Pumpkin, and we're here today to tell you about our show, and we want you to know that it's really important that you learn everything you can about your animals, how to feed them, how to take care of them, and when I adopted Pumpkin, I rescued her from a local shelter. And I began learning everything I could, and I decided I wanted to share it with you. So each month we'll be sharing a little bit of what you can do to take care of your rescued or adopted animals. And remember, don't shop, adopt. Hi, welcome to Rita's Rescues. I'm Rita, this is Pumpkin, and we're here today with Abby, Paola, and she has brought her friend
Jerome, yes.
And we are going to talk about why it's important to rescue animals and what we can do to take care of them. So, Abby, you have a pet sitting business, and you want to tell me about it and the name and what you do?
I own Dirty Feet Pet Care. We do in-home pet sitting and weekly dog walking and cat sitting. So I am all about people who love their pets, and I have created a business from that. So it's not just filling a need, somebody's going out of town and you have somebody come over. We're about finding the people that really love their pets and want somebody that cares for them and is professional.
Okay.
And that's what we do.
So what has you interested in doing that?
Well, I started as a young kid walking somebody's dog for them, and people loved what I did with the pets, and I loved the pets, and just kept going. In college, I grew and had a few more clients and decided that I wanted to make a business about it. So I looked on the internet and found a organization that has made a profession out of it, and they have all kinds of information, and they do conferences, and it was sort of like finding, the ugly duckling finding her swan family.
Yeah. Oh. So tell me about Jerome. How did you come about finding Jerome?
Well, Jerome was wandering the streets of Cincinnati, I think maybe in the North Side area, and they picked him up, and he was at the shelter, and that's where we adopted him from SCPA.
He's so laid back. He's just chilling out. Nothing's bothering him at all.
Yeah,
That's
I think
amazing.
of him as little orphan Annie for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's, to find a dog on the street and get them from the shelter for $60 and have the perfect dog. I mean, you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, and what people need to remember too is that when you rescue an animal, you're saving their life. So it's really important to remember that, if you frequent the breeders, they're going to keep on breeding more and more dogs. And then we end up having to, put down the dogs that are already here and need at home. And somehow I do believe Pumpkin's a rescue, and it's like they know when you save them, they're forever grateful, aren't they?
Yes.
So tell me some of the animals that you have pet sit for. Have you had any unusual pets?
Well, the oddest pet I ever cared for was a raccoon. I was cat sitting for a woman who you're in the animal community, and some people just love every creature that crosses their path. And so they weren't quite feral, but she had, backyard cats that came in and out of her basement. Well, a raccoon decided that she was going to live there as well. So she would come in through the cat door and lived in the rafters. And so I would go down there and fill the cat bowls and had to put food in the bowl for the raccoon. And
Aww.
so it was interesting. It was a little scary, but you love them all.
Yeah. So with your service, do you go into the homes when the people aren't there, and then you'll do what you need to do, feed them, walk them? What type of service you offer?
Yeah, so if you are a client of mine, you call and say, hey, I'm going out of town in a couple of weeks. Sometimes people call a week ahead of time. And we come over and we walk them, feed them, we do litter. We are there to make sure that they are at, comfortable, and their routine is maintained when you're gone. So there's no infrequency of care.
And that's really important when you're caring for animals, to keep up their routine.
Absolutely. Yeah. I care for a couple of pets, and I have a couple of clients that do rescue and have multiple animals, maybe 7 dogs, and it's very important to keep their routine up. They have it down to quite a system. Yeah. You wouldn't know that they have that many pets. I have a lady, she does mainly small dogs, and you would think it would be insane, but she writes down all their food schedules, and I come in, and we can keep that standard of care, and the animals aren't being shuffled to different places, or you're not having your mother come over and being stressed out. We're professional, and we love the pets as well. Yeah. And we learn their temperaments and their behaviors so that we can work with each one of them, because you never know what you're going to get when you're rescuing, or you have animals that might have been through a lot. So we are tuned into that as well.
Okay, all right. Well, that's really great that you're doing that and able to allow people to have someone that they know, will care for their animals the way they would. And like you said, keeping that routine is really important. So we'll talk more about what you do when we come back. And we will be back in just a moment.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
He's Scooter, he's neutered, and the coolest cat you will see. He always struts, he's got no nuts, and that's why he never springs his pee. Other felines are so mean, not the cats without their jelly bean. Be cool. He's Scooter, the neutered cat.
Find spay and neuter options as low as $20 at GiveThem10.org.
Hi, welcome back. I'm here talking with Abby Paola, and we have Jerome here with us, and we're talking about Dirty Feet Pet Care. And you mentioned that you have more people working for you. So tell me a little bit about how your service works. People are out of town, they're out for a week or more, so you have people that stay overnight. How does that work?
Yeah, so we offer a multiple services. It just depends on the needs of your pet. So we can come 3 to 4 times a day, or we can also do overnights. And we've mixed that up as well. And it just depends on my team, as I call them, their schedules. And it works out well, because we have a little community, and most of them, we have a lot of dog walking during the week, and a lot of those clients are who we pet sit for. So we already know the dogs. So then we can just go into the homes when the people are out of town and the dogs know us. If not, we also set up meetings ahead of time with the clients to get to know the dogs and for them to get to know us. So then that way,
great.
if a client is going out of town, they just call or email us, and I reach out to my ladies, as I call them, and see who's available and who wants to take the job, and we put them on it, and they get to play with the dogs and have fun. And
now that's a good kind of job to have.
yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to actually call it a job or work.
So how long have you been doing this?
This will be my 10th year.
Really? Mm-hmm. Great.
Yep, and I just started adding people. I've been growing. I can't do it all, and as far as the dog walking, everybody wants their dog walked at noon, and I obviously can't walk 20-some clients at noon.
Yeah.
And the pet sitting, when it rains, it pours is sort of how it goes. And I could have a couple weekends with nothing, and then I'll have 5 jobs.
Yeah.
So to maintain the standard of care that I, insist upon and value, and my clients value, I just have been adding people slowly, and good people that I know have the same value and love animals as much as I do, but understand that it's a profession and that you're going into somebody's home.
Yeah. Now you mentioned to me when I called you about wanting to write a grant for a project. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I volunteered a few years ago at a place called Pets in Need, and they offer they offer vet care for low income. And I have just really seen the need for that in Covington.
Yeah.
And I was driving home one day, and there was a mobile vet clinic a block over from my house. So I wrote the number down, and I looked them up on the internet, and I emailed them, and I said, hey, I have this project in mind. And at the same time, my neighborhood association had sent an email about grants. So I reached out to them, and what I'm trying to do is get the grant and get the mobile vet clinic to go to a certain location, preferably a retirement community that allows pets. And then to get people from the community to come that are low income, that qualify, and have them have access to vet care. There are no vet clinics in Covington that offer and appreciate clients and offer good care. Some people don't have cars. So how do you get your your pet to a vet clinic?
And with the elderly, I mean, everybody can enjoy having a pet, but I know I'm especially fond of seeing the elderly with animals so that, they have the affection and they don't feel alone. It's been proven how it lowers blood pressure sitting and petting animals. And, if they're on a fixed income, can be really costly to keep up with all the shots, So that is really a great idea if you can get something like that here to where more of the elderly could have the pets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in the business of where people spend a lot of money on their pets, and my clients, they can provide for their pets, and they don't blink an eye, but it's still a struggle for some people.
Yeah.
I mean, vet bills can be outrageous, and but elderly should have access to pets.
Absolutely.
And there are so many pets in shelters and rescues. Fosters are just reaming with pets, and it just makes sense to get these pets out of the shelters where they, will probably be euthanized, and to get them into the homes of elderly people and people that love them, whether they have the money or not. And it's the responsibility, I feel like it's the responsibility of someone like me who has access to a community that loves pets, to bring affordable vet care and affordable education to people who can take care of the pets and just give them that extra help.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So I really hope that, you have success with that.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, yeah.
And the vet I'm working with is really, good, and I think it's going to be a great project.
Great, great. Well, let me know how that turns out with your grant. And you're trying to do that through who?
It's through the Center for Greater Neighborhoods that's located in Covington, and they do a lot of outreach community projects. And I'm also working with the Friends of Pieselburg, which is where I live. So it's through them as well, and it will be in the Pieselburg neighborhood.
Well, that grant sounds really exciting and something that we really do need here in Covington. So I wish you luck on that. And we will be back in just a minute to talk some more with Abby, and hopefully Jerome will be able to stay awake. We'll be right back.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hi, welcome back. And we're sitting here talking with Abby from Dirty Feet Pet Care, and Jerome has woke up. So I wanted to talk to you more about, you've been doing this now for 10 years. So what kind of training have you had to do this? And I feel it's really important to know about CPR and first aid for pets. So what is your background there?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I found the organization. It's called NAPS. It's National Association for Professional Pet Sitters. So that's where I started and joined that organization, and they have been the catalyst for all of my education and training. I actually just returned from a conference in Orlando a few weekends ago, and to get more education, and they had a special dog training program from the Catch dog training school that I took. Yeah, it's so critical to constantly, educate yourself and to, get more information, because, what I do, I'm the go-to for the clients, whether it's nutrition or pet first aid. I've had clients call me in emergency situations. I've had to rush pets to the vet. I had one dog that just kept throwing up, and you call the client, and they are, they weighing it. Do you take them to the vet and you pay all this money? What do? You have to make that decision. And we actually ended up taking the pet to the vet because it's a small dog, and you can become dehydrated. So you have to have that training, you have to have the experience so that you can handle a crisis situation. Whether it's a dog getting loose and running down the street. And the main thing with pet first aid is not to panic. So that's it's a lot easier when it's, you know, maybe not my dog, because I've had emergency situations with my pets before, and it's definitely different.
Yeah.
But then my experience and my training kicks in, and I can, you know, handle the situation and be there. And, you know, I've had late night calls from clients who are freaked out about something and able to talk them out of it, or say, yeah, you might want to get to the vet, or you know, just keep an eye on them and give them information that way.
Yeah. Have you ever had to do first aid or CPR on a pet?
I've never had to do CPR. I did have to take a dog to the vet when it tore its dew claw, and it was bleeding. So, you know, wrapping that and keeping them calm. My own dog used to have seizures. So I had to learn how to keep them calm and handle that situation. And so now I can recognize what a seizure looks like. You know, there are different forms of it. So yeah, there's been all kinds of things that you just, I mean, glass in the feet. I've had that before. You know, you got to keep and they want, you know, they want to bite you, so you have to keep their mouths away from you and to get that glass out. You know, whether it's salt in the paws, a variety of things can happen when you know, take the dog out of the home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about, have you ever had a time when you've had dogs that are missing their owners so much that, you know, their behavior has changed?
Yes,
You watch for that.
Yes. Recently, I have a dog. Her name's Boomer. She's a big old boxer mastiff, and she's, I call her Beauty, but she kind of looks like something from Harry Potter. But she is a big lug, and her parents were out of town for about a week, and her, you know, she had her grandmother there and us there and walking her extra. But the last time I walked her, she had had enough, and she was missing them. They had just had, you know, they just have a baby, and so I think she was feeling like her responsibility, you know, that's her responsibility, is to take care of them, and she was really missing that, and she just sat down and didn't want to walk anymore. So I just sat next to her and gave her some extra love and gave her a little time to mope, and then I said, all right, Boomer, let's keep moving. You know, but I've had clients where I've walked into the house and I've met the dog before and go into the home and the dog wants nothing to do with me. I had a little bulldog and she was not having it. So, you know, you just let him out to potty and you bring him back in and you try not to upset them too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's never a dull moment.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what is the most difficult situation you think you've ever had to deal with your pet sitting?
Probably the most difficult is really saying goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've had pets for years and years and years, and they become my friends.
Yeah.
I had a dog, Isis. She was an amazing dog. She was very smart, and we just really formed a bond. And you know, I had a different relationship with her than her dad did. You know, she could walk with other dogs with me. No dogs could get near her dad. But I was able to walk her with a little pack. She was the leader, absolutely, but she enjoyed her, you know, her little walks with her friends, and I would give her baths, and her dad really, you know, didn't like to do that, and she would prance around and all that kind of stuff. And one day he called me, and she had hip issues, and you know, he had to put her down, and I just, you know, it was very, very painful. It was definitely like losing a friend. And that's, you know, that's probably one of the hardest parts of my job.
Yeah. Well, that's the sad part about owning an animal. You know, I've had many I've had to part with, and it's always difficult. But the joy they bring you when they're here makes it all worthwhile.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you being on the show and bringing Jerome, his perfect gentleman, Aren't you, Jerome?
We were glad to come.
Yeah,
Any chance Jerome can get on camera, he's all about it,
he's all about it.
even if he
All
just
right.
lays there.
All right, well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to Rita's Rescues. And we hope you'll come back and join us in. Thank you, and remember, adopt, don't shop. It's really important. Let's rescue these animals and keep them safe and love them. So until next time, bye. Bye. Pumpkin, wake up. Wake up. Oh, there she is.